Triggers. What are your triggers? I suppose you already found that out through continuous testing. Because when you are at this stage, I think the most beautiful part about this stage where you are suffering with fapping, suffering with ending up doing your bad habit is that you keep on doing it. And that's the main point. You keep on doing it, therefore you keep on finding your triggers every single time you do it. Every single time you do it, what are the different triggers? Because every time you do it, it's either gonna be the same trigger or it's gonna be this different triggers. Triggers are essentially what caused you to end up doing it. Okay, so I actually was gonna do this live stream as a Q&A, but fuck it, let me just explain it to you because I think this is very important. Knowing your triggers is very important. Of course, there can be Q&A after people join this live. But facts first. Find your triggers. Because if you find your triggers 100%, almost like 100%, okay, like 99.9%, you will be able to deal with it. The rest is just like doing sexual transmutation at the right time, like being good with it. Okay, but mainly it's all the triggers. Like I'm on day 100 of no fap suppose. Okay, even if I get my triggers, like what were my triggers before? It were mostly using social media for a long time, ending up in some gym girls account and then looking at porn, or maybe just ending up looking at flash of some asses, like embrace masculinity kind of videos where they put you in like a clickbait position where they are showing those TikTok girls shaking their asses. Those were the triggers for me, even though I didn't like suddenly jerk off. Those made me watch porn, those made me end up fapping later down the day. So I knew my triggers. And if you were to show me that same trigger today, that wouldn't have worked because that trigger is way back now. I already am on like more than day 100. So which means that over time you also get stronger, your willpower. We're talking about willpower here now because your willpower, or I don't know what the exact word for it, like it's willpower. When your willpower get to a certain level, triggers doesn't even trigger you anymore. But you're not just there yet. Okay, you're not just there yet. So which is why in this phase where you're struggling with fapping and you want to quit fapping, I think it's very important to really lay out all your triggers, write it down. Okay, you know what I was doing back then on my initial stages, bro? I was writing all my triggers down. Even though I end up fapping, I write it down again. Oh, it's because I was taking a shower and then the soap got really slippery down here. Oh, I was taking shower and then I just fapped, thinking that I will do it just for 10 times, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and then I will be done with it. Because see, when I was doing it for 10 times also, it was like I want to do it more. If I do it 10 times, why not 20? If I'm doing 20, why not 50? Let me just do 50. Nah, come on, let me just do 100. And before I know it, my dick is already hard and I can't stop now. I have to come. Okay, I don't want to come. I'm just trying to edge now. But I can't edge because I ended up coming because I couldn't, sexual transmutate because I was vulnerable, because my life was shitty back then, because my life was not shitty but I was stressed out. Okay, because I was coping, saying that I'm gonna only fap for 10 times, like 10 times in a sense that not orgasm, but pack for 10 times. Shit doesn't work like that. Because when you do that and when you are still retaining yourself, the urge to do it more comes back up. So find your triggers. What is it? It couldn't be like triggers like, yeah, you watch porn, that's why you fapped. No, it's just like that. The first thing that you want to keep in mind is that porn is equal to orgasm. Okay, just lay that out clear. Porn is equal to orgasm. Because if you watch like porn, like even 10 seconds of porn, I guarantee you would fap in like 2 days. You wouldn't even last long. Okay, at the max 5 days, maybe not even a week. Because it really sets you vulnerable to fapping, especially if you are at the initial stage, especially if you were vulnerable few days back to watch porn. Because that inability in you to control yourself from watching porn. It's the same inability that will make you fap after watching porn, even though you didn't fap right away. So porn itself is orgasm because you are gonna orgasm anyways. So this porn cannot be a trigger. What can be a trigger is what made you to watch it. What made you to watch porn? Okay, instead of saying porn, I'm gonna say pee. Okay, because I live with my family here, and so it's gonna be quite weird if I say this loudly, and it's already like almost 6 a.m. or it's already 6:30. So I'm gonna just say the P, okay? P. P is equal to orgasm. So you don't want to watch P. So what made you watch P is the thing that you want to deal with. Right there, right then, you find out all your triggers. You find out that you are most vulnerable after your meal. It's not always like triggers, by the way. It could be also like just I've mentioned right here. It could be like, when are you most vulnerable? What is the timing? When do you most jerk off? Find it out. F, okay? Instead of saying fapping, I'm gonna say F. When do you most F? When do you most are likely to watch P? Find it out, write that down. Because for me, for a long time, it was that every time I eat meal, like a protein meal or even like a carb meal, I will get like a carb crash later on, and after some time I will feel like, man, I want to F, I want to fap, okay? And then I ended up fapping. So I wrote down every single time that I did fap. Or it was because I was full. I was having a carb crush, low in energy, which made me procrastinate my work, which made me more likely to fap because I was laying down there in my bed. Now, either I could not procrastinate my work, or I could still procrastinate my work and still not lay on my bed, or I could, at the first place, not have the heavy meal at all, or I could do all of that and still be vulnerable, to ending up fapping, but still be aware of that to the point where you are like aware of it, so that you are confident that you won't fap at that moment because you are aware of it. But that is like the next level stage. What you want to do is to avoid the first trigger right away. Is it scrolling through Instagram? Is it watching random TikTok videos, YouTube shorts? Just find the trigger out. Now there are a lot of triggers which we could talk about, and I'm gonna talk about how you can quit social media in terms of like binge watching social media shorts and all of that. But first of all, find out find out your triggers. This part is all about finding your triggers. From today, every time you do your bad habits, every time you jerk off, every time you find yourself doing some things that you don't want to do, write it down. Why did you do it? What were the triggers? What happened before? Were you tired? Were you stressed out? Why were you stressed out then? Is it because you got less sleep? Is it because you skipped your workout? Is it because you ate sugar? Write every single fucking detail down as much as you can in point wise. It doesn't have to be structured or anything. It can be like random as fuck. As long as you can understand, as long as it's convenient to you, write it down in a paper. And then read it after writing it down and observe it like, dang, so this is the reason. And next time, be aware of this. Almost like try to eliminate it. If it's like you jerked off because of sugar, a lot of sugar you took like the day before, which made you feel lazy, which made you feel like want to procrastinate your work, which made you end up scrolling through Instagram. Eliminate the sugar then, because we could also say like it's because of scrolling through Instagram that made you end up watching porn, that made you end up fapping. But what made you watch Instagram then? What made you binge watch the internet then? Because it was sugar. It was sugar back then. Okay, now you ask yourself, what made you eat sugar? Is it because your friends, gave you some sweets, sharing some foods to eat? Okay, fine. What are the things that you can do? Certainly at that point you cannot, eliminate the friends, because that really depends on you. After all, it's your friendship, so you suppose Suppose it's a good friendship, then you wouldn't want to cut ties with them. So what can you do at that moment? Maybe you could reduce the sugar intake in half, just share it with other friends too. There are a lot of ways. There are a lot of ways to deal with anything. So what I'm getting to here is that it's not only one triggers that make you end up doing the bad thing that you don't want to do. It's the series of bad things that leads one after another. Why did you jerk off? Because you watch porn. Why did you watch porn? Because you watch Instagram as TikTok girls. Why did you watch that? Because you were watching Instagram. You were on Instagram searching for motivation. Were you searching for motivation? Because you weren't motivated. Why weren't you motivated? Because you were procrastinating your work, your productive work that you could have done. You were procrastinating your workout. Why were you doing that? Because you ate a lot of sugar that day. Because you ate a heavy meal that was unhealthy, that made you feel like sloppy motherfucker. What made you feel like a sloppy motherfucker? It was because maybe you ate a lot of sugar, but what made you do that? Maybe you played a lot of video game. And then why did you play video game? Maybe you watch social media again. So there are two social media in this equation, which means that as much as you can, you want to eliminate all of this series that makes you end up fapping at the end. If you cannot eliminate all these series, because of course you are finding it hard to eliminate jerking off at the first place, which means that your ability to quit bad habit would be quite low, but still it would be much better. It would be much stronger in terms of quitting other bad habits besides porn and jerking off, because these two are the most like strongest desires, one of the hardest one to quit. So other bad habits like sugars, eating sugar, video games, and what is it, procrastinating, and other random triggers which are very personal to you could still be avoided easily, at least easier than quitting jerking off and porn at the first place. But once you eliminate those triggers, you will realize that those are the ones that help you to eliminate jerking off and porn. Because you know for a fact that this shit ain't normal. It could be maybe normal biologically because we are meant to reproduce, but fuck it, because we get wet dreams, so it's like totally normal for us not to fap too. You will be more productive if you don't fap. You'll be more stronger of a man if you don't fap. More disciplined, mental strength. So what happens then? When you're quitting all these minor bad habits that lead you to quitting porn and jerking off, you will see that you end up quitting porn and jerking off. It's simple as that. Because jerking off and quitting porn is not in the main majority of the equation where it's like causing you that triggers. Because porn doesn't trigger you to watch porn. Jerking off doesn't trigger you to jerk off. You know why? Because you don't directly wake up in the morning and then go about your day and start jerking off. No, it's like jerking off is a result of a series of series of triggers. Okay, everything is triggered. Sure, you could avoid it. I'm gonna teach you how to do that. But understand that if you had the right mindset, right willpower, you wouldn't want to jerk off, right? You wouldn't want to jerk off. If your best self was there at the moment, you wouldn't want to jerk off. If I gave you the option of jerking off and no, you wouldn't choose jerking off. You would choose not to jerk off. Because you know how much better you would be if you don't, how much energy you would have if you don't. But you do it anyways. So now it's not a matter of like why you are doing it or not. Because it's your inability here. It's your inability to not be able to control it. Why? Because of the series. Like I've mentioned, because of the series of triggers that followed it up beforehand. Okay? So to avoid the triggers, I'm gonna mention some main triggers. First of all, I'm gonna write it down because it's like quite confusing to lay them all out. It's mainly social media, it's sugar, like diet, sugar, it's like sleep, it's like procrastinating, which is work and workouts. It's mainly one of those. Okay, also, the main thing is like having shitty friends, okay? The first thing, procrastinating workouts, and okay, that is like a result. That is also a result of other triggers. Let's talk about social media first, then, because I think this is very important. Because in this modern world, every fucking 10-year-old have their own social media. I go to school every single day. Even my juniors, like 12 years old, they have their own social media. 11-year-old, they have their own social media, bro. Unavoidable, yeah. But think about it. Social media algorithms. Social media algorithms. They are meant to help you. Because what do? Their basic essence is that they send you out the videos that you prefer. It's your preference. Now, if your values are fucked up, maybe you want to do business, but you end up, looking at TikTok girls on Instagram, suppose. So instead of the algorithm showing you business stuff, it will show you TikTok girls shaking their ass. And that is not what you want because your explore page is a reflection of you. Literally, because we can't even blame the software developers these days because it's like it's you, bro. It's you. But again, it's kind of addicting. It's kind of addicting. It's like a snowball effect. Okay, before we get into that, what happens? Your explore page is the reflection of your mind, of the things that you're interested in. It's the reflection of you, your values. What interests do you have? What kind of contents do you like to watch? The algorithm, bro. Now, first, when you're starting off, maybe you end up watching some real like sexual contents, maybe TikTok dances and all that, girls, doing some thirst trappers shits. Okay, the next time you refresh your explore page, there is more of those contents because you have spent hours of your life consuming their contents. And what happens? Because here you are, your explore page is kind of decent. It's kind of good. There's no girls at all. There's no like triggering girls, sticking their tongue out or some shit like that, showing, exposing their body or some shit like that. It's just decent number of them. I mean, just one, two, because you have just logged into Instagram for the first time. But chances are it's not first time. But suppose there is still a decent number. Your explore page is decent, right? There is no sexual content and anything like that. But since you begin to watch those type of posts, you begin to see that in your explore page. One of them, you see one post on your explore page right there. Is that girl, the type of girl that you like? You press it, oh, it's e-girls, oh, it's soft girls, oh, oh, yeah, gamer girls, yeah, gym girls, oh. You scroll down and all that. The next time you know it, you spend 30 minutes on Instagram looking at this type of girls. You exit it, you refresh it again, boom, there's even more of those girls now. It's like a snowball effect, like I've said. You press more because it's more likely for you to press more when majority of the posts are of the things that you want to avoid, the things that is triggering you, the thing that you want to click but still want to avoid, like suppose watching girls exposing their legs with thigh highs or anything like that, which really triggers you. You press that, or you scroll down, or yeah, you zoom in and stuff. I used to do that, so I'm telling with experience. But I don't do that anymore, bro. That is like a huge trigger. That is in and of itself a huge trigger, even for a person like a day 100. Especially if we spend more time, right? If it's just like laying down on my explore page because it's like my old Instagram account, that is fine because I wouldn't click on it. But if I were to, by the miracle, just end up clicking on it because I didn't meditate for some couple of weeks, then of course I would be mindless and scrolling through Instagram, and that would end up making me fab. But I am aware of that. I am aware of what would make me fab and what would not. So here I am in day one, more than 100, being aware of what caused me or not. So I'm living a normal life. Actually, I'm living a life where I'm not even fapping. Can you imagine that? Living a life where you don't even need to fab. I'm living the life. And not even part of the reason, like majority of the reason is because I understand what will make me fab. Even right here, right now, I understand that, yeah, if I become lazy, if I stop working out, if I, stop journaling, if I stop looking at my to-do list, if I stop sitting in this table that reminds me of work and hard work, I would usually end up doing some random things. If I ended up eating too much sugar, maybe I would still be able to control myself. But if that is coupled up with, playing video games and hanging out with loser friends who always talk about jerking off and all that 24/7, I would end up fapping. Maybe still not enough to make me end up fapping, but at, of course, if that happens, then I would still find a way to get back on track because of the willpower that I've developed so far. But it's like I know what is likely to make me calm, what will likely to make me vulnerable to fap again. But that shit ain't bothering me because it's not like it'll make me come again. It's like it's likely, not in the sense that it will, but it's just likely. So it's like a snowball effect. Your explore page, the more you see of those scrolls, the more you're likely to click it because what other posts do you have? Like you don't even get gym guys anymore in your explore page because you've been watching all those scrolls every single time. Like before you used to have like ignore mediocrity and stuff, business reels, hard work, Sigma grind sets, Sigma memes and all that memes, DIY, ASMR. But now you have all these scrolls on your explore page that you just have to click and watch them. Now that may seem trivial. That may seem like not a big deal. But why are you watching them? What is causing you? I've already talked about this in my all videos, if not live streams. But majority of the reason that you are ending up scrolling is because of your desire, your sexual desire. It's the same desire that makes you feel like you would do anything to fuck any girl right now. It's the same desire for you. And I know you've probably felt that if you are brutally being honest right now. It's the same desire that made you chase the next girl through your Instagram, your sexual desire. Because suppose if you have just ended up fapping and you have like wait, hold up. You ended up fapping and you have like a post nut clarity, alright? You end up fapping, you have post nut clarity. You wouldn't have the energy, you wouldn't even want to fucking scroll down to Instagram and watch some TikTok girls anymore. Because you don't have the energy, you already drained that out. But when you're horny as fuck, even though you don't want to fap, if somehow you manage to go into your explore page and click on that girl, boom, you've already made that commitment. Boom, now you're staying consistent with it, scrolling through endlessly, mindlessly. It's because of the desire, the sexual desire in you that makes you want to reproduce, because your brain thinks that there is actually a girl out there. Because what we see is all two-dimensional. You're seeing this screen, it's two-dimensional. I'm seeing this world, it's two-dimensional. This bottle is two-dimensional as I'm looking at it right now. Even if it's like three-dimensional as I can feel it, it's still two-dimensional in my eye. And therefore it is still two-dimensional with your phone, which is why your brain cannot make the difference of whether it's a real girl or not, because what you're seeing, even if it's real life, as long as you cannot feel it, you wouldn't know that. Even if you can feel it, it's three-dimensional feelings. It's not like flat or anything like that. You can touch it and feel it at any time, anyhow you want, but every single time your eyes will see the world in a two-dimensional way. And you might not know how a three-dimensional way looks like, even though you are a three-dimensional creature, because our eyes is made to do that. I see the world the same way as I see my screen, period. There's no difference between a girl on a screen. That's why your brain ends up thinking that it's a real girl, except that it's a little smaller, but it's still a real girl. Boom, boom, boom. You watch, you zoom, you watch, you zoom. Oh, this girl is really my type. Click on her profile, you end up watching her reels. Oh, yes, her reels, finally shaking her ass. Oh yeah, you're watching all that. And by the time you realize you're so much more horny, your dick is wet, it's time for you to fap. But you need more dopamine, so you don't search up the girl. Now you search up the girl's name on Google Chrome, like incognito mode. I did that for a very long time, and I wrote POR then next to it, porn. that TikTok girl name, and then I searched up porn, and then I got a couple of results. I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna fap. I'm not gonna fap. I'm just gonna watch it, right? I'm not gonna touch my dick or anything. I watched that. I would click some of her pictures, bro. Ended up fapping. Okay, I'm not gonna go too deep into that. I don't want to, like, I don't want you to think about it a lot. I'm not even gonna say the girl's name because I know for a fact you motherfuckers are gonna search up the girl's name if I say it right now, the TikTok girl's name. Okay, so it's like it's like builds curiosity in us. If I'm saying a particular girl's name, just suppose no, I wouldn't even say that because that is fucked up. Suppose I say a girl's name, and then I tell you in my live stream that I watched her porn, and then I end up fapping. You associate that name with fapping, which associates with good feeling like pleasure, orgasm. So you want to search up that girl's name by yourself too, so that you can enjoy like me. Till then, you realize that it was not an enjoyment in the first place. Quitting social media is gonna be hard. You're gonna have to delete that app again and again, again and again. I deleted Instagram again and again, but then I downloaded it again for some reasons. But then I deleted it again. After some time of dopamine detox, It got easy to delete it and just live my own life. Okay, because the reason you're going through Instagram all the time is because Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, whatever it is, your social media, Discord or whatever, every single time, it is because your life is boring. Because if you had real friends, real life friends, you were doing real work, you wouldn't want to use Instagram. But now there could be also a stage where you use Instagram for business and all that. That is fucking cool. But chances are you're copying. I was copying. I was doing affiliate marketing using Instagram for that. But majority of the time I wasn't doing business. I was on Instagram to watch TikTok girls, pausing the reels and then looking at their ass and all that. Fuck that. You want to delete Instagram, whatever it is. No, like, no second thoughts. Just delete it. And maybe you want to download it again. You download it again. But because you deleted it, you created a friction for you to use that app again. And then when you use Instagram again by downloading it, you will find that man, I have to go through a lot to just use Instagram to see her ass. It's not even worth it. Maybe it's not to see her ass. Maybe you don't download Instagram to literally look at a girl's ass. Maybe you do it for a better purpose because everything is a series leading to series. You don't suddenly want to jerk off. It's just a series leading you to do that. It's just the same way for you to want to watch that girl. So you install Instagram. It's hard. It's taking time to download. It's taking time, and then by the time you know it, you don't even feel the urge to use it anymore. But then you use it anyway. You find out it was not worth it. It was just you just checking on the latest celebrity. Or there was a fight between who was that, Tyson Fury and Gnou. So you just check that on Instagram, and then it was not worth it. You delete Instagram again. You're wasting your data, you're wasting your time doing that. You will find that you don't want to do that anymore. You just want to delete it forever. And at the same time, it's gonna be like hard for you if you're doing all of that deleting and installing just by living your normal life, your normal shitty life, when there is nothing better to do than watch Instagram. So you want to have a better life, a life where you feel motivated, a life where you feel the pleasure without even needing to watch Instagram or fapping. Dopamine detox, I'm talking about that. And especially the main habit for dopamine detox that you should go through right now is through meditation. It's through meditation. I think it's not like a main habit, but two main habit, okay? Because work and meditation is very important here. Work in a sense like that makes you feel purposeful. It could be workouts if that makes you people feel purposeful, gives you a reason to do so. It could be your school works, school project, or maybe some side hustle. Do that work and do your what do you say, meditation daily, 2 minutes of monk meditation, mindful meditation. Then stack that up to the point where you are progressively overloading until you can do 10 minutes of meditation every single day and be consistent with it. And still, even in the bad days, this is very important. in the bad days when you don't feel like meditating, you do it anyway for just 2 minutes, like how you did some couple of weeks ago, how you started doing it. Just drop your ego. It doesn't matter if you can, do it for 10 minutes. Just do it for 2 minutes. Even though you've been progressively overloading and trying, you've been staying consistent with 10 minutes. There's gonna be days where you are kind of busy and you can seem to have 10 minutes. Maybe because you're too much busy. Okay, fine. Do it for 2 minutes. You just have to show up. That's all. And work something that makes you feel purposeful. That you have to find that out for yourself. For me, it's my YouTube. For me, it's my school. Not in a way that is making me so purposeful, but at least it's giving me a reason to live, a reason to do something. It keeps me busy, it keeps me distracted from sexual fantasies, distracted from using Instagram. Because if I'm studying well, getting good grades, if I'm doing good on Instagram, if I'm doing good on YouTube, then why would the fuck would I want to use social media? Now, this is the main point. I'm talking about YouTube here. YouTube in and of itself is a social media and also my work at the same time. Now this is up to you. Can you use the social media and still be mindful about it at the same time? Because for a long time I thought I could do that, but I couldn't. So I had to really take a hit in my gut. I deleted my Instagram, I couldn't delete YouTube, of course. I stopped using YouTube. Meditation was consistent. I think that is the reason like I'm being mindful these days. Like when I go to Instagram, I don't even click on the explore page. When I go to YouTube, I don't. Maybe I get directed to the home page automatically, but as soon as that happens, I go to my subscription list. I go to my library. And my subscription list is only a very few people, so I don't get like huge triggers. It's like proactive because I chose to subscribe to those channels. That is why I'm getting the recommendations. But your home feed, your recommendations will be shitty as fuck, will be something that will really make you curious to click into. But if you're in this dopamine detox phase, you don't want to click on those videos. You're trying to unstimulate your mind. Keep it empty as fuck so that you can fill it up through your work. And so that you can feel more motivated for your work, because dopamine is motivation. Conserve your dopamine. So every time I use Instagram, I have a purpose. Okay, I'm gonna use Instagram to upload this story. What story? This one. Okay, I click on Instagram directly, boom, boom, boom. Of course, there's gonna be like posts on my explore page. I mean, on my home feed. It's gonna be a celebrity or something. Celebrity doing some workouts. Okay, fine. Just ignore that. I don't have to watch the full reel. Boom, boom. Post, boom, boom. Put the music and put the caption or some shit. Do it, done. Exit Instagram. Boom, you're done. I don't fucking go on Instagram, just lay around. Oh yeah, oh wow, this celebrity is doing that. Oh, let me watch Sam Alvin's story. Oh, let me watch Jack Hopkins' story. I don't fucking do that. I stayed true to my intention. Why did I open Instagram at the first place? Because if not for that reason, I wouldn't have opened it at the first place. So I must respect my decision. I'm using Instagram to post my story. I'm using Instagram to text that person. I'm using Instagram to check my messages. I'm using Instagram to update my profile. I'm using Instagram to post this. I'm using Instagram to change my this profile, change my bio or some shit like that. Create an intention. And as soon as you're done with that, exit Instagram. Exit Instagram, because it's easy. It's easy if you're not hooked. So when are you hooked? If you use Instagram, you go directly, mistakenly click to the explore page. Boom, there's a lot of posts through the Instagram algorithm that makes you want to watch these videos, reels and posts that are of your interest. Now you're hooked. Now you will feel difficult to exit Instagram. So at the first place, you don't fall into those triggers. Even though you want to click that explore page, understand that if you click it, it will be more worse. Your urge to watch that post from your explore page will be more worse than your urge to click that explore page symbol, which is like the magnifying glass or some shit. That ain't shit. You can avoid that. You are stronger than that. You've been doing your workout. You've been doing your meditation. Of course you are. You've been purposeful. Of course you are. Right after that, is it Instagram? Boom. Of course, in this initial period, you're gonna find it hard to do so. But you want to keep that consistency with your meditation, because not only with your meditation but with your work, because both of them would make you feel mindful and would make you feel fulfilled. I guess that is the best place to be at. If you ever know how this feels like, you wouldn't want to go back to Instagram and just indulge in your temptations, indulge in just random activities that doesn't give you anything more than what your work and what your fulfilling life, mindful life gives you. Because when you are mindful, you not only benefit yourself, you benefit the people around you, your family, your parents, your brother, your cousins, your friends at school, your mentors, the people you care about, all of them, through your presence. This is a lot of different topic that we could get into about meditation and all that. But the reason I'm extending this, I'm stretching this social media section is huge because everyone is on social media, and social media is a fucking strong hook, can make us fucking addicted. Shit, bro. The next thing is your diet. Now, sugar. Diet, sugar. Not gonna lie, I never suffered with bad diet. I never suffered a lot with junk food because I was too broke to afford one. kind of, fucked up, weird, and some shit. You can say whatever you want, but I'm gonna admit it right here. My friends were telling, oh, Kiwi doesn't eat junk food. Oh, it's very good. It's very good that you don't eat bad stuff. You don't eat junk food. Bro, I was too broke to afford a pizza, bro. I was too broke to afford a KFC. So it's not that I don't want to eat it. Of course, I would eat it if there is a chance for me to, but I was too broke to afford any of those. So it's like early in my life, I was too broke to afford junk food and all that. So I never got into an addiction with that. But my parents always bought it, of course. Sometimes they buy it and some shit. It was kind of good, but most of them were not sugary. Because even though we are living in India where sugar snacks are very common, in our place is more like tribal area. So it's like, what do you say? Sugar is not the common food that we eat. Sugary food, sugary sweets. It's more like KFC, pizzas, and all of that, Domino's, and all of that, which are very common junk foods in our area. Hmm. So what if your parents buy you that because you are young and your parents is gonna buy you that? What you do? If it's a pizza, the usual amount that you would usually eat, make that into half and give it to someone else. Give it to your brother or give it to your cousin, and then eat the half piece yourself. Okay, now in this one, this is the case where it's inevitable. Your parents are gonna buy junk food for you anyways. You give that to your brother in a generous way, not that, I'm trying to get into a good diet. I don't want to consume this bad junk food and all that. So you have it. I don't want to eat it. You have it. Not in that way, but it's more like, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares about if you want to get into a good diet or anything like that. Okay, just cut the pizza into half or something, burger or KFC, and then you share it with your brother in a way of like expression of love and all that, because it is an expression of generosity, and sharing is caring. So I always do that, and yeah, trying to do that. But recently, of course, I also tell my parents that we shouldn't eat junk food and all that in a way that will also make them convinced not to do that, and so they are buying more like nuts and almonds and all of that instead of just buying junk food as much as they used to, and which is good, because you also want to educate your parents, because chances are your parents don't know about diet and all of that. Maybe they have not researched about diet, but when you have the knowledge, just the knowledge enough capable to teach them in a way that educates them, and sharing of knowledge and experiences, I think it'll be beneficial not only for you but also for your family to get into a good diet. And this is gonna take time because they're not gonna be convinced right away, because they have these beliefs that have been ingrained in them through decades of their life. But it can change as long as they know that this is the good thing to do. This is the right thing to do, because your parents always want the best for you. But don't in a way tell them that angrily tell them, "Oh yeah, why are you giving me junk food? Don't you care about me and all that?" Bro, I used to do that shit like when I was very young, and yeah, I realized there were better things to convince. There were better ways to convince your parents, like appealing to their interests. So, whilst everyone is thinking that you are avoiding junk food to get into shape and all that, you you're doing that so that you can become more of a willpowered person, of a more disciplined person who can control the urge to avoid junk food. Because if you cannot avoid the urge to like avoid junk food, avoid the urge to eat junk food, I mean to say, how the fuck can you expect to avoid fapping? Okay, maybe sometimes in fapping when you have flatline days, it's gonna be hard because you need the dopamine, you need that pleasure in your life because you quit fapping, so it's hard for you because you don't feel pleasure in your life anymore. So you need something. So maybe you seek it from junk food. Okay, fine. It's just flatline. This is not gonna last forever. Just make sure you don't end up fapping in those flatline days. But then it's like day 21 and all that, day 30, 21, 40. Fuck that for now. Diet, we done with diet, we done with social media, we done with, yeah, all of that. Now, procrastinating. I wouldn't say procrastinating because if you get a good diet, if you, yeah, in fact, it's all about diet. You are made of your diet, you are the food that you eat. If you fix your diet, you fix your addiction to social media because you're less likely to have less energy. If you fix your diet from like slow food that makes you feel happy and less energy into like healthy food that makes you feel sharp, energetic, and like you're ready to smash the day. When you're in that mood, you wouldn't want to spend any time on social media until and unless you think that social media is beneficial for you. So it's like if you know social media is beneficial for you, you are likely to fall into that, no matter if you want to quit it. But it's understanding that social media is bad for you. Fapping is bad for you. That helps you quit. Because for a long time I was trying to quit fapping, right? But in my mind, I was thinking that yeah, fapping makes me a high testosterone person. Oh, I get better at having sex and all that. No. I had to understand the downfall, like down, opposite of the benefits of the cons of fapping. I don't know what the word is actually. I had to understand the drawbacks of fapping, okay, disadvantages of fapping, which is why one day I took a shower. I was thinking about all the drawbacks of fapping and really ingrained that in my subconscious mind by repeating it to myself. Yeah, fapping makes me waste time. Fapping makes me lose that energy that I could have used to reach my full potential. Fapping makes me less of a man. Fapping makes me less masculine. Fapping makes me this. Fapping does this to me, does that to me. I'm talking about all that and I'm telling myself, yeah, I won't fap anymore because I am a disciplined person. I'm affirming to myself after that. It's knowing what is bad and knowing what you can do about it. Diet is everything, by the way. So sleep is also everything. You know, you could get bad sleep. Now there are a lot of spectrum in sleep because if you get a bad sleep, first of all, your testosterone is gonna be low, which means that you will be less likely to fap. But if you also get a less sleep, you will also want to fap more because of the less sleep that you get. You feel shitty about yourself. You feel less energy, which makes you want to use social media, which makes you fap even though you have a less testosterone. Now this one really depends on you. What do you do even though you get a less sleep, even though you get a good sleep? Because if you get a good sleep, your testosterone is high, you want to fap. If you get a good sleep, your testosterone is high, your energy is high, you don't want to fap. Because you are rather preferring to do your work instead of just jerking off and wasting time on Instagram, waiting to get triggered to finally orgasm. There are a lot of things that you can get into in this sleep. I'm just gonna tell you what I did because for everyone it's gonna be a different advices, which is why I always do like a one-on-one coaching on my Discord server. For me, every time I fap, I get a good sleep, okay? I mean, I try to get a good sleep, but I ended up not getting a good sleep because I wake up in the middle of the night or somewhere around 3 a.m. by mistake. Get only like 7 point something hours of sleep, even though my workout usually lasts for like 60 minutes intense workouts, which means I need like 8.5 to 9 hours to 10 hours of sleep. But I get like 7.5 hours, 7 hour and 30 minutes of sleeps, which makes me feel lazy and lethargic, which makes me feel like, fuck man, I'm tired. My body is sore. I didn't recover well. But that makes me not want to fat because, bro, my whole energy today, the matter about whether I last, where I am surviving at school is a matter of where if I fap or not. Because if I fap right then I would get even lesser energy throughout the day, and that would fuck me up because I already got bad sleep. If I end up jerking up, that would fuck me up. So getting less sleep in the initial period really also kind of helped me because if I got a good sleep, I would have recovered from that fapping. But since because I just fapped recently, I would be more vulnerable to fap because of the recovery that I got from good sleep just after fapping. So it's like see what works for you. But for me, it's like punishing myself to get less sleep in a way that is not harmful still to my health, but just it's not it. The sleep is not enough to keep me like fully active and fully recovered from my workout. It still makes me sore enough to not jerk off for some couple of days. It's not even like the whole life or the whole month or something. Just for 3 4 days, and then you're done with it. You can get a good sleep after that as much as you want because after that, after 3 4 days, after your initial fapping period, very start of your fapping period, you will get recovered from it, and it's a matter of about whether you get a good sleep or not, because at that point I don't want to get that bad sleep because getting a bad sleep will make me want to do something else because I already have the energy to do so. But when I just jerked off, all of my balls are dried out. I just jerked off, I just slept less. My body is sore, I have less energy, I don't even have any balls, I don't have any urge to come again. So it's less likely for me to watch Instagram and all that. So I'm good with getting less sleep in like first 1 to 3 days. In around like 4 to 10 days, I'm more like I need good sleep because my balls is already recovered up. So if I get bad sleep when my balls is all recovered up, ready to blast out through orgasm, and I watch like Instagram and fall into triggers, then bro, I would be more likely to fab because everything is ready out here. Everything is ready in my balls. I would be ready to fab. So I get good sleep in like after 4 to 10 days of fapping. Good sleep. Set the mentality that you are a healthy person, that you care about yourself, that you love your body. You know what I'm saying? 8 hours, 30 minutes, 9 hours. I was sleeping like that with well recovered body, still sore, kind of sore, but I'm getting the sunlight. I'm doing all those good habits that makes me distracted from my dick, from checking off my dick. So that is the shit that you do. Just see what works for you, less sleep or good sleep. Because this also has a huge trigger on whether or not you end up tapping or not. But majority is like internet, is the social media that triggers you. Because if you were living without social media, without internet, what are you doing? I mean, what are you doing? Literally, what are you doing? You're going about your life. There's parents, there is your family, there is your neighbors. Love your neighbors. Yeah, there's your neighbor girl. She is pretty, but doesn't trigger you enough because maybe you get weird thoughts sometimes. But once you get into a stage of nofap, you realize that man, I love the people around me. It's a good feeling to have, not in a weird way, but in a more loving sort of like, yeah, we are all one, collective consciousness and shits, something like that. Just woke up today, by the way. 3:30 a.m. Yeah, dealing with your triggers. Yeah, you can comment down below if you have any questions with your specific triggers, because everyone has a different trigger. For me, my weird trigger is like whenever I feel like pooping. Whenever not even feel like pooping, but whenever my shit is down there and right before, like hours before I feel like pooping, I feel the urge to fap. And every time I fab and end up with the post-nut clarity, I realize that, bro, I'm like, I want to poop right now, bro. Ah, shit, there's a shit down there. Why didn't I realize that some few minutes ago before I fabbed? Because it was those poop that triggers those, like, nerves in my dick that makes me feel like pleasure and all that. Those were the poop down there, and we have all these pleasurable nerves down there, which makes our penis hard anyways. So it's like random boner, more vulnerability to triggers, more vulnerability to end up doing the bad habits, fapping especially. So by fixing my trigger to poop right away, that is the one that helped me a lot, because I was pooping religiously for the first 14 days, 10 days, two times every single day. Intensely. I made my purpose. Literally, I made my purpose for me to poop every single day. Like all out. 2 times a day, 3 times a day. Of course, don't push yourself too hard. Just see what works for you. Like 1 time, 2 time will also do. For me, sometimes I will even go up to 4 times if I eat a lot. But the idea is to poop regularly and keep yourself emptied out. Even though you don't feel like pooping, maybe you just ate your food. Just try to poop. Because if it comes out, if your shit comes out, that is good news for you. Because if it didn't come out, and if you just stayed with it, even though you don't feel like pooping, for some couple of hours, you will feel the random urge to fap, because it's down there and it triggers your nerve. That is the shit that worked for me. And you know how it worked? Through journaling. I journaled about every single of my triggers, and like I said, which is why I said in the beginning, like, journal every single thing done, because in this period of your life, it is beautiful, as I said. Even though you're struggling with fapping, you will never have this problem ever again once you're done with it. So don't beat yourself up for it, of course, but every time you fab, it as an opportunity to write down your trigger, but don't take it as an excuse to fab the next time. I want you to have this mindset. Be positive, even if you end up fapping, just write down what you can do next time. Okay, just write down why did you fab? What made you do that? Okay, what was the thing that came before that? What was the thing that happened before that? What are the series of things that you did before you ended up fabbing? Write it down. What can you do next? Why can't you do this? Write it down. How can you do it then? How can you solve this problem? How can you solve that problem? Write down whatever you can do, practically for yourself through journaling. And do that every single time, even if it's just like 1 line, 2 line. You could just, maybe one day, maybe you're feeling post-nut clarity, so you feel shitty about yourself, so you don't feel motivated to even journal about why you fapped. So maybe you just, doesn't matter, you just do it anyway, just one word. Why did you fap? Social media. You just write down social media. It doesn't have to be a whole series if you are feeling less motivated, but the more, the bigger journaling, the better. But that doesn't mean that you should stop with just one word. I mean, you should always do just a lot of page, because you can stop with just one word. You can stop with just one word. Every single time, you can do that. Because if I were to ask you if you could just journal 1, 2 words every single time after you fap, can you do it? Yes, of course. It's easy. Improve your life one step at a time. Always.